My name is Shaz Nawaz. I'm the Managing Director of AA Chartered Accountants based in Peterborough. Started my practice in 2003 as a partnership. At the moment we employ 5 people altogether. Before I joined AVN back in 2011, we used to employ 11 people, and I'll share exactly what happened in a few moments. So life before I started working with AVN was horrific, because I was working 50, 60, sometimes 80 hours. I was living off a bank overdraft. I was the last to get paid. In fact, I was lucky if I ever did get paid. And I was running around like a headless chicken. And I thought, what did I do wrong to deserve this? I had debt worth £132,000. It was a madhouse. Everything was being done last minute. The kind of clients we were attracting were, the bottom end, really cheap. And the only reason they joined us was not because they liked me or because the fantastic was great, it's because we were cheap. And that had to change, because if I carried on with that, I think I probably would have been dead by now. So life was horrible. So in 2009, I bought out my business partner, paid him a hell of a lot of money. In fact, my ego paid him a hell of a lot of money, and I was on a mission to prove to myself that it was a sound investment. Of course, if I speak to somebody else right now, they'd say to me I was mad at that time. So it was something very personal to me. In 2011, I realized I needed some help. So I spoke to a friend of mine, Simon Chaplin from Greenstones, and said, is there anybody I can work with who can help me turn around my accountancy practice? Because you're doing some really good stuff. And he said, you should go to an AVN productivity seminar. So I took his advice, and I did. And on my way there, I thought, this is going to be a waste of a day. I'm going to sit there and some poor chap is going to try and sell something at the back end, which is usually what happens. So I arrived, sat there with my arms crossed, thinking, why am I here? And within 20 minutes of Steve Pipe speaking, it was a light bulb moment. Everything changed. So at the first break, I said, Steve, where's the order form? Can I sign up? I didn't even ask him what the price was, because I knew this was for me. It's one of those things when you know something's going to work. So I joined AVN, and since then, life has changed dramatically. My journey's been fantastic. So back in 2011, I was a very quiet guy. I wouldn't squeak. I went to the productivity seminar. I sat somewhere near the front because that was the only space available. Usually I'm right at the back hiding. I went to the master class. I asked no questions because I was really shy. I'm a typical accountant. And since then, it's all changed. So as a person, personally, I've become a lot more confident. Thanks to Steve Pipe, I've started presenting. So I go all around the country now, presenting to accountants, business owners, and that's fantastic. And that's really changed my personal life. From a business perspective, the average fee I had before I joined AVN was, I think, £650, something really low. The average fee now is just over £5,000. I used to employ 11 people. I now employ 4 others, plus me, 5. And we turn over exactly the same amount, and the profit is more than treble. So life has changed. My clients love me. I don't actually go looking for clients now. They come and find me. So the fees higher, profits are higher, I take more time off, my team enjoy it, and every time the phone rings, we're thinking, which pleasant client is this going to be? Whereas in the old days, we thought, I bet it's Mr. X or Mrs. Y, I don't want to answer that phone. So life has changed dramatically for me, my family and my clients, and of course most importantly for my team members, because that's really important to me. It's always difficult to pinpoint one thing which can change a business or change a person. So initially it was time's up, because I was leaving too much money on the table. I was pricing incorrectly, attracting cheap clients, and then wondering why those cheap clients aren't the kind of clients I was looking for. So as Steve Pipe calls them, the BMWs, the bitches, moaners, whingers. So time's up enabled me to increase the prices for some of the existing clients, but also attract better ongoing clients. The second biggest factor was being introduced to Michael Gerber, who I had the pleasure of meeting a few months ago, and I spent a whole day with him. That was fantastic, and that was a second light bulb moment for me, in terms of have a business which is system dependent as opposed to people dependent. And if you don't have a business which is system dependent, then the business relies on you, therefore it really isn't a business, it's just something which you're running. So once I started systemizing my business, things became easier, processes became clearer, the team was happier, the clients had clarity, and that really transformed my business. But the biggest factor, if there was to be one factor, was my own mindset. So becoming more confident as a person, believing I can change things, going out there, doing things, speaking to people, really changed my practice. So in fact, it was something within which changed, which then helped me to change people around me. So the key numbers in terms of turnover remained the same, but I had about 568 odd clients at the time. I'm an accountant, so I'm reasonably precise with numbers. Now I have probably a fifth of that. So the turnovers remain the same. The average fee per client has increased tenfold. The profits have gone up. I'm spending less time at the office. I'm taking holidays as I like. In fact, the first thing I do during the Christmas break is open next year's calendar and book all my holidays first, because that is the most important thing, and then everything else fits around that. So that key number is very important. More holidays, more time, more enjoyment. The team are happier. We have a weekly and a monthly tracking measure, and every month that goes up. Clients are happier. Our average feedback score every month is 9.7, which is phenomenal. When we started with AVN, it was about 7.3 or something like that, which wasn't too bad, but this is phenomenal. So those are some of the key numbers, and what I've done for my clients has been phenomenal. Over the last 5 years, I've helped my clients make millions of pounds in additional profit, and I've helped them save an awful lot of tax. So it's not just about me, it's about my clients and my team members as well. So the key piece of advice I would give to accountants is, number one, join AVN, because that really will transform your practice and transform your life. The second thing is focus on customer relationships, focus on how you really can add value, and also empower your team to make a bigger and better change. Unfortunately, how I see accountants, or the feedback I get from them, is that they're running businesses which really aren't businesses, and the kind of money they're earning is less than what they used to earn when they were working for somebody else. So change the mindset, change the focus, change the way you work with your clients, and add more value. AVN accountants are a very different breed in comparison to your normal traditional accountant, because unfortunately, like it or not, being an accountant, I can say this, we are number crunchers, bean counters, and we are seen as a necessary evil. And if you see your client once a year and give them 3 sheets of paper and say, these are your accounts with your profit and loss account, your balance sheet and your accountant's report. Please sign this piece of paper. Oh, by the way, this is how much tax you're paying, and insult to injury, here's my invoice. That doesn't really add any value. With AVN, they focus more on helping clients enjoy a better life, build a better business, increase their profits, pay less tax. So the focus is totally different. It's more added value. So if you want to grow your business, you have to, in my opinion, work with an AVN accountant. There's no two ways about it.